In our project, let's create a new file called index.html. In this file, we create a div and add a class called skeleton-loader. Also, we'll add a link for style sheet file. So now let's create a new file called style.css and let's add the styles for our skeleton loader. Let's create a class called skeleton-loader, and inside this style let's add a box sizing. There will be border box, a position that will be relative, a background that in this case will be a color. In that case, let's use a gray color, and also let's add a no repeat so that color won't be repeated if the background is too big. In addition to that, let's add a width and a height, and both will be 200 pixels. Now let's add a small change for the skeleton loader. This will be a circle, so let's add a border radius as 50%. Now we can add animation for our skeleton. For this, we'll be using add keyframe. So the name of the animation will be pulse, and we add in 0% we have opacity as 1, 50% we have opacity as 0.4, and 100% we have opacity as 1. Also, we add animation in our skeleton load element so we can use this animation. So now we'll be at the animation field, and we'll be calling pulse, passing 2 seconds, and say that we'll be running infinite. Also, we add animation delay of 0.5 seconds. And when we refresh the page, we can see the animation. Now let's write a CSS media query to remove the animation. For that, we'll be using add media and passing prefers reduce motion with the value as reduced. Now we can define the styles to be applied when the CSS media query is enabled. First, we can create a skeleton loader and we can add a background image as none. Also, we can add animation as none. With that, as soon as we add a media query, we prefer reduce motion as reduce enabled, we have this piece of CSS activated and applied in our page. To check the CSS media query in action, you can open the accessibility tools and click and reduce motion, so you can enable and disable. When you enable, the animation should not work, and when you disable, it will be back as expected. Now we can add Aria attributes on the HTML of our skeleton, so that users with any type of visual disabilities can understand the specific state of the fragment of the page is currently loading. Let's add some attributes. The first one is tab index. We add this as 0, so screen readers cannot have this focused. The second attribute is row, so we can say to screen readers that it's a progress bar. The next attribute is Aria-busy, and we add this value as true, so that we can make sure that screen readers understand that is a content that will be updated. Since it's a progress bar, we need to add more 2 parameters. One is Aria value min as 0 and Aria value max as 100 because it's a progress bar. The next attribute is Aria-value text. This is quite important, so we can pass the text that will be read by the screen readers. In this case, we're using please wait. Now we have all the attributes required for screen readers and other assistive technologies. Now let's check the effects of our changes in Lighthouse. First, we need to run a local server by run npx serve and the local folder. With that, we have the local URL that we can check in our browser. After that, we can open Lighthouse, make sure that we have accessibility icon pressed, and run the audition. As soon as Lighthouse finishes the audition, a new page will be opened with all the items that were checked. The items that need to be checked manually, but more than this, the items that were passed in the audition. All the Aria labels and Aria hidden true, for example, and row, and all the relevant information for screen readers will be there as green items, which means they are good to go.